G'day, welcome to Sights and Stories, a global Aussie journey. The podcast where a qualified historian with a passion for travel and the past will take you to the world's most iconic destinations. Each episode, we will explore not just the sights, but the stories behind them. Today, we will continue a travel series on Japan. Let's take a look at an area of Tokyo renowned for a couple of great attractions to visit. Shiba Park, home to Zojo-ji and the nearby iconic Tokyo Tower. If you want to connect with Japan's past, Zojo-ji is one of the best Buddhist temples to visit in Tokyo. This temple has a special connection to the Tokugawa shogunate, which ruled Japan from 1603 to 1868. Let's talk about what the Tokugawa shogunate was. For centuries, Japan had endured civil wars between competing daimyo, or feudal lords, who wanted to be the military commander or shogun of all of Japan. There were still emperors at this time, but they were merely figureheads. Real control laid in the hands of the clan led by the shogun. The founder of the Tokugawa shogunate was Ieyasu. His rise to shogun did not come easy. He had to wait until the deaths of two other powerful shoguns, named Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi. He was proclaimed shogun in 1603 after defeating his enemies in battle. The new shogun immediately put laws in place to end the constant warfare in Japan. Ieyasu decided to firstly move the capital from Kyoto to Edo. Today Edo is known as Tokyo. At the same time, Edo was nothing more than a small fishing village with a rundown 15th century castle. Ieyasu transformed the site into a massive city. He supervised the construction of a new castle, which involved reclaiming land from the marshes. The castle would become the biggest in Japan. Ieyasu also constructed canals to provide transport and water for the city. Edo quickly expanded into a large city of over 150,000 people. Ieyasu also set up what is referred to as the Bakuhan system because it was made up of the Bakufu, the shogunate, and the Han, or domains run by feudal lords called daimyo. The Bakufu had control over foreign relations, currency, national security, and transportation. The daimyo ruled over their domains, managing collection of taxes and maintaining order with their samurai. However, they owed the shogun absolute authority, loyalty and military service in exchange for their lands. To ensure loyalty, Ieyasu took steps to limit daimyo power. He restricted their armies, and castle construction could not occur without his permission. Daimyo also had to maintain two residences, one in their homeland and the other in Edo. Their time in Edo would reduce the ability to raise armies and any plots against the shogun. Ieyasu also married his daughters into powerful families to strengthen his alliances. The Tokugawa then took steps to limit civil unrest. They established a feudal society based on a very strict four-tier hereditary system. Below the daimyo were the samurai, then the farmers, then artisans, and lastly merchants. This was meant to help maintain social order and prevent rebellion. To support this social system, the Tokugawa encouraged Confucianism. It taught people to respect those above them at all times, therefore legitimizing the role of samurai, daimyo, and of course the Tokugawa shogunate. Ieyasu also promoted Buddhism, which emphasized discipline, something the samurai class valued highly. All citizens were required to register at a Buddhist temple, so the Tokugawa could monitor the Japanese population. At the same time, the Tokugawa shogunate also decided to shut Japan's doors to foreign influence. They also banned Christianity. These restrictions were designed to prevent any foreign intervention in regards to providing weaponry and technology to opposition, as well as limit potential uprisings amongst the people. only the Dutch were allowed to dock at Dejima Island in Nagasaki, while the Tokugawa were in control. The number of ships the Dutch could send was reduced to 1 or 2 ships annually between 1715 and 1847. The Tokugawa eventually collapsed in 1868 and was replaced by the Meiji government, which led Japan out of feudalism and into the modern world. If you want to hear about why the Tokugawa collapsed, you need to listen to my next podcast. This is a quick insight into the Tokugawa shogunate, which brings us back to Zojo-ji. Zojo-ji has a special connection to the Tokugawa, and the first of the 3 reasons why you must consider visiting this temple. Zojo-ji was originally built in the Shigeya ward in 1393. It was moved to its current location in Tokyo by Ieyasu in 1598. The shogun selected the site as his family temple, which is why it now contains a mausoleum to 6 out of the 15 Tokugawa shoguns. This includes Ieyasu's son and the second Tokugawa shogun, Hidetada, who ruled between 1605 and 1623. While Tokugawa Ieyasu is not buried here, his funeral was conducted at the site. The temple is therefore a must to visit if you want to connect to an older Japan ruled by a shogun. The second reason to visit the site relates to the fabulous architecture associated with the temple itself. At one stage, the temple encompassed up to 120 buildings. However, bombings in World War II left only one major structure standing, the main gate. This 2-storied, predominantly red gate, standing at 21 metres high, is very impressive. It was built in 1622 and is the oldest wooden structure left in Tokyo today. Within the temple precinct, there are also 1,000 guardian deities of children next to the mausoleum. These miniature statues are meant to serve as a memorial to stillborn or miscarried children, so be aware of this when you're taking photos. The statues wear a colourful red hat to keep the heads of the child statues warm. The final reason for a visit to Zojo-ji concerns a popular photo that can be taken at the site. Many tourists flock to the temple to take a photo of the main hall with Tokyo Tower standing in the background. It is a wonderful blend of the Japanese Buddhist tradition and modern Japanese architecture. It is a photo which absolutely screams Japan. This brings us to the second site you must visit near Shiba Park, the Tokyo Tower. It is the famous international orange and white tower which is incorporated into many postcards, guidebooks, tourist brochures, and photos of Tokyo. Tokyo Tower was built in 1958 as a communications and observation tower. It stands at nearly 333 metres tall and was the tallest structure in Tokyo until Tokyo Skytree was built in 2012. The tower was designed by Taku Natu, who was inspired by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. This is why a similar ladder support system was used in constructing the tower. Its colour came from the more practical desire to make sure aircraft could see the tower while flying around the city. Here are some interesting facts about the Tokyo Tower which are sure to make your visit to the site more meaningful. When the tower was constructed, a third of the metal was taken from damaged US tanks used in the Korean War. When it was constructed, it surpassed the Eiffel Tower by 9 metres. The tower is repainted around once every 7 years, with the process taking about a year to complete. Around 34,000 litres of paint and 4,200 workers are required to do the job. There is a Shinto shrine located 150 metres up within the tower. It has the highest elevation for a Shinto shrine in all of Tokyo's 23 wards. The talismans sold at the adjacent official shop are believed to help with success in examinations, romantic relationships, and traffic safety. There are 180 lights that illuminate the tower at night. Orange lights are used all year, except in summer when silver lights are used instead. There is also an infinity diamond veil that has 268 LED lights to create different light colour patterns. Today, the tower is used to broadcast radio signals rather than for TV stations. The digital age meant a taller structure was needed for digital broadcasting, which is why Tokyo Skytree was constructed in 2012. The tower has been built to withstand earthquakes. It can sway over time to gradually absorb the shock. It was built to withstand an earthquake greater than the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923. The tower can also withstand a wind speed of up to 90 metres per second. In 1959, as a result of the Typhoon Vera, the tower swayed about 90 centimetres when faced with wind speeds of 52 metres per second. This is the most severe weather it has faced. On average, around 3 million people visit Tokyo Tower every year. The tower has 2 observation decks you can choose from. The main observatory at 150 metres and a smaller top deck at almost 250 metres. The top deck was originally used as a workstation to maintain the antenna. The views are great from either deck, although the top deck naturally allows for a better aerial perspective. All the major sites, including Mount Fuji, can be seen from the observation decks. There is an exterior staircase of about 600 stairs leading up to the main deck for those who are feeling a little more adventurous. Otherwise, a lift will take you up to the observation decks. At the base of the tower, there is an information desk, coin lockers, a variety of food stores, souvenir shops, and even a gaming entertainment complex. If you want to go up to the top deck, it is recommended that you buy a ticket to avoid disappointment. This can be done up to 30 days in advance. The best time to go is just before sunset, as you catch the sun disappearing over the landscape and then see the amazing lights that bring the city to life. In Tokyo, there sure are many options when it comes to towers. There is the free Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building with its electronic light show, the tallest tower in Japan, Tokyo Skytree, Shibuya Sky with its 360-degree open-air observatory, the Fuji Television headquarters in Odaiba, and Sunshine 60 Observatory and Tokyo City View within major shopping districts for retail therapy. You really are spoilt for choice, but I really do suggest going to Tokyo Tower. It is something none of the other towers have. It is iconic, being the original observation tower of Tokyo. It has, in my opinion, the most graceful historic charm, being modelled on the Eiffel Tower, and it is so close to Zojo-ji that one can get in touch with both the old Japan under the Tokugawa shogunate and the modern Japan within one easily accessible location in the heart of Tokyo. If you want to see more of the city, you can take an easy walk to Roppongi shopping district as well. This is why a visit to Zojo-ji and the Tokyo Tower should definitely be on your short list of attractions when visiting Tokyo. I am hoping that any visit to these sites will now be enhanced by the historical insights provided on this podcast. If you want to see pictures taken at Zojo-ji and Tokyo Tower, be sure to check out my YouTube video attached to this podcast. I have included photos of what it is like to be in the top deck at sunset. Now, it is time to answer any questions that you have. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat and see if there's any questions. Let's see what we have. So there's a question here, how many times have you been there? I've actually gone up the tower once. I've experienced the towers across Tokyo, the ones that have mentioned. I've gone to all of them, and basically I can honestly say that the Tokyo Tower is got to be up there in probably the first or second choice to go up a tower, simply because of its historic age and being so iconic. Would you go back? Definitely. I'd definitely go back to the Tokyo Tower. I'd suggest going up to the top deck because I think you get the full experience. While you're in Tokyo, you might as well go up to both levels and check them out. The great thing is when I went, obviously I saw Mount Fuji. I went on a very good night where I could see the sunset and also the city light up, but catch Mount Fuji as it disappeared with the sunlight, which was excellent to see. How long did it take to build the Tokyo Tower? It didn't take very long from memory. It was only a few years. They got working on it pretty quickly because they needed it up for a communications tower. I think from memory it was 2 to 3 years, but I can check that out and get back to you on the next podcast and let you know about that. The great earthquake, the earthquake that I mentioned in 1923 was devastating for Tokyo. That was another question in here about the earthquake and how damaging was it. It killed thousands of people. It was a great shock to the government at the time. Japan was already undergoing quite a few difficulties in the 1920s. It had a civilian government at the time, and they struggled to rebuild the city. So ever since there's been a real push within Tokyo and other Japanese cities to ensure that their buildings are able to withstand earthquakes. And today, rest assured that all the observation towers in Tokyo have been built with that in mind, as well as the big buildings and hotels and stuff that you can stay in the city. They're incredibly safe because they've been built to sway and to move with the earthquake rather than fall under it. So Japan has really mastered technology in terms of withstanding earthquakes as a result. There is a memorial to the earthquake. I know that there is one in the city that you can go to. There's a memorial museum to the earthquake victims. It's over actually not too far from Tokyo Skytree. So you can check that out. I might actually feature that in a future podcast to give you more information on it. Other than Tokyo Tower, what would you say are the best towers to visit and why? Like I said, Tokyo Tower would definitely, in my opinion, would probably be one of two that I would definitely visit if I had limited time. The other one that I would visit is probably Shibuya Sky, which I featured on my previous podcast. And the reason I would have Shibuya Sky in there is because it is in the open air. And if you want to get photos without glass in front of you, and you want to get into the fresh air and see the stars at night while looking at all the lights of the city, it's the place to go. The difficulty with Shibuya Sky is if it is wet, if it's raining, they tend to shut the observation deck up the top, which is a bit of a pest. So you've paid this money and unfortunately it's been bad weather. So that's the negative with it. Whereas Tokyo Tower, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to get up to the observation deck no matter what, unless it's really cloudy weather, in which case they'll probably tell you before you go up. But the good thing about Tokyo Tower, as I said before, is it's with Tokyo Tower and Shibuya Sky, they're both in the heart of the city near shopping districts. And I think that's what makes them also very good places to go. The others that I've been up to the Tokyo Skytree. It is the tallest in the city. Definitely worth checking out. But in my opinion, you can get better photos from the other two. And I just think, there's just not as much history there as the Tokyo Tower, which is why I definitely prefer that one. The Tokyo Metropolitan Building is a good one if you're someone on a budget, because that is free to go to. And one great thing about that tower is that there's guides up there who speak English, and they'll take you all the way around the view, and they'll show you all the buildings and give you insights into who built them and why. That is a fantastic service, and I would recommend going to that one as well. That's a Tokyo Metropolitan Building in Shinjuku. That is definitely worth visiting as well. So plenty of observation towers. Like I said, you're spoilt for choice, but I think postcards say it. Usually you've got Tokyo Skytree on there. Not Tokyo Skytree, sorry, the Tokyo Tower. So I think it's definitely one of those towers that most people kind of identify with the city. So that's why I featured it in this podcast. But I will talk about the others in future podcasts. So I'll talk about the other towers and give you more insight into them as well. What season would you recommend visiting Tokyo, particularly the towers? The best season is actually winter. If you want to see Mount Fuji, winter time is the best time to go and see it. The clouds generally stay away for a bit longer and you get more clearer skies. I know it's colder that time of year, but it is definitely usually the best time to take photos of Mount Fuji, for instance. So I would recommend that. And the other thing too is because sunsets usually around about 4:30 in the afternoon. It means that you get to experience the lights at a decent time as well, and then you can go exploring into other parts of the city. So winter's probably the best time to visit towers in Japan. Definitely not summer. Winter. I'm just having a look through the questions to see if there's any more. I think I've got them in there. I think I've answered all of them. But if there's any other questions, how do you have to book the towers in advance? Definitely, that's another question on there. You definitely have to book. Shibuya Sky is definitely one that you would have to book because it is extremely popular, not just with tourists but also with locals, and it's in the heart of a major shopping area within Tokyo, so you definitely have to book that one. Tokyo Tower, if you want to go to the top deck, yes, definitely book it because the top deck is popular, and it's because it's smaller, it can only hold a certain amount of people. So you definitely want to get in there, particularly around sunset. If you want a sunset booking, you definitely should book in advance. I would recommend doing that for both of those towers that I've mentioned. The Tokyo Metropolitan Building, not necessarily because it's free. You can go up anytime you want to. It does get popular, obviously, during sunset and certain hours of the day, but you don't need to book that one at all. Tokyo Skytree, you can book that one. But like I said, if I was going to go to Tokyo and I had limited time, I'd be going to Tokyo Tower and Shibuya Sky, and I'd be definitely booking both of those in advance. I think that's the last question out there. I can't see any others, but like I said, if you've got any more, please post them so that I can comment on them and reply to them. Be sure to catch my next episode on another exciting part of Tokyo as I endeavour to take you on a journey through parts of Japan. I'll give you a bit of a clue as to my next podcast. It is a place that not many tourists go to, but definitely should be considered if you're into Japanese history and if you're in Tokyo for more than a few days. That's all I'm going to say for now, but that'll be the next podcast. I'll be talking about that place, and I think you'll find it quite fascinating. So until then, I wish you well and safe travels to all abroad. Catch you later, mate.